Hey everybody, Stephanie Erickson here with Flying Free. Okay, what the hell is a chakra? I've heard of the chakras. I know that there's something about a third eye. I do believe that energy lives within our bodies and can get blocked. But to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure of exactly where each chakra is, how it works, what's the connection. So I invited my friend on, the beautiful Minerva Marahaj, the goddess of, goddess of wisdom, right? At Goddess of Wisdom. And she is a goddess. Look at this face. She's lovely.
Thank you.
We're actually now accountability partners because we're both writing books. So that's on an aside. We have to give each other updates. Yeah. So we're accountability partners. Anyway, let's talk about chakras. So I know there's 7 of them, and it has to do with areas in our body, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, where there's more nerve bundles and like centers of organs, and energy can get trapped in there and lots of energy flows through there when they're open. Is that right?
Yes, you're definitely on the right track. So we actually have 114 chakras, and
okay.
there are 7 main ones that you often hear in meditation and in yoga. So what chakras are, they're energy centers. And basically, it's like the anatomy of your spiritual body, of your energetic body. And so we'll talk about, for today's purposes, we'll talk about the 7 main chakras, because really I find those are the most important anyway. Those are the ones that when they're underdeveloped or they're blocked, it mirrors in your physical body, in your physical experience. It comes with health challenges, with stress, with how things are going on in your day, in your communication, in your money, in sexuality, in every way. So we'll go through each chakra and what each one represents and how you can strengthen them.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to throw it out there because I know some people don't believe in this energy and all that in and of itself. I don't really want to get into that piece. I'm just diving in as if we all believe, and let's just learn about it with an open mind, because I think that's the best way to get the best information. So first of all, 114, totally overwhelming. Let's focus on the 7. And I believe it's like crown to spine, right? Is that how it works?
Right.
Okay, so where do you want to start? Top or the bottom?
Let's start with the bottom.
Okay.
So we'll start with the root chakra. So the root chakra is exactly that. It's the base of your spine. And the color associated with that is red. And so the root chakra is about survival. It's about your sense of security. It's tied to family and home and money. So anything you really need to survive, to feel safe and secure. And feel free to ask me questions along the way.
Go ahead. I was going to say, and you know what? I printed this thing for a visual. So you're talking about this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I can try to stand here and show. So this is the base of the spine. Right there, I just showed my butt on TV. It's the base of the spine. So when you are meditating on it, when you're meditating on it, you want to breathe into the base of the spine. You can bring in the color of red. That's the color that's associated with it. And mind you, whether you believe this or not, there's like scientific studies of energy centers, and there's colors associated with it when they do different scans. So you can just easily research that and see that there's research and there's backing behind this. So the color associated with the root chakra is red. Okay. And that has to do with grounding. And the element that you can use, is it okay to go into how to strengthen it and clear it now, or do you want me to hold off on that?
Go ahead.
So an element that you can, so there's different things you can do through all of them. It's meditation, yoga, chanting. There's a certain vibration, a certain chant that you can say with each one to help open it, clear it, strengthen it. Different foods and different earth elements. So I'll talk about earth elements because these are easy things you can do in everyday life.
Okay, so let me stop you because I want to go through what we can do, but I think, just in my opinion, if we go into that much detail in each one, I'm already feeling overwhelmed, like, oh my God, this is so much information. I think I want more of like an ABCs, dumbing it down, chakras for dummies explanation, just start, and then maybe we can go into a bit more detail. So the one at the base of your spine is for grounding, which visually makes sense. It's kind of holding your whole body upright. And it's something specifically that it's attached to in terms of what can happen when it's blocked? I know you mentioned it usually represents like family.
Mm-hmm.
What can something happen specifically physically? Is that like people who have back problems?
Definitely, because it's tied to beliefs, but in the practical sense of how how the challenges can show up in your everyday life is, family relationships not in harmony. Also, when I've done Reiki on clients, if someone is moving or they don't know where they're going to be living, their root chakra could be out of balance because they don't feel that sense of safety and security. So if your home environment is, not harmonious or not stable, that could be affected in your family relationships and how you feel in your home environment. And it affects your money as well. So if you're stressing about money, if you're worried about money, if you have a lack and scarcity mindset, your root chakra would be affected.
Okay, and I mean, I do want to go through all of them, but let me just ask you this question so I don't forget. Is it that things are going on in your life and then that energy section is blocked? Like the life stuff happens first, or sometimes we just absorb stuff that might be happening around us. It's not even about our own lives. Then it gets blocked and then it impacts our life. I guess it goes both ways?
Yeah, definitely both. So external influences, and so if our family is fighting around us, it's going to make us feel, we're going to absorb that energy, and it goes to the root chakra. It normally it's attracted to the root chakra.
Okay.
And also we pick up things unconsciously, like our parents' beliefs. If we're around people who are worrying about money, if we're in an environment that doesn't feel safe and secure, if it's cluttered, if it's messy, if it doesn't make us feel safe, the external influences could affect the energy there. But you can also, if you have this sense and this belief that I'm not safe, I'm not secure, it's not safe in this world, my needs are not provided for. If you carry those beliefs, yes, they are normally from other people because you don't come into the world with those beliefs. But if you're harboring those feelings and those beliefs and you're holding it within, that's going to affect your sense of self and how you feel in there.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's like layer after layer after layer. Like you need like a drill to get through some of those layers. They probably get so thick with all of those external and internal influences. Let's go to the next one visually. That's this one.
Yes, the sacral chakra.
Sacral chakra. Okay.
Yeah, so the sacral chakra has to do with flow, creativity, pleasure, sexuality, and it is also connected to flow of money as well. So you want to think of water. That's the element that's associated with it, but it's how you feel about yourself. It's about procreation as well. It's about creation, creativity. So if you're feeling stifled creatively, that could be an energy center that is blocked.
Okay.
If you're struggling with money, that could be an energy center that's blocked.
And the next one here.
It's the solar plexus, so that's right in the middle, just above the belly button. So, by the way, the sacral chakra is below the belly button in the sacred area, in the pelvic area, and then the solar plexus is in your torso, and that's like your power center. That is your sense of worthiness, your self-esteem, your confidence, your manifestation power. So, our ability to feel like I can do this.
Okay, and this is the heart chakra, I guess. Oh, sorry, here, heart.
Yep. So heart chakra is the center of the chest. So our heart's to the left, but really the energy center is in the center of the chest, and the color associated with that is green or pink. And that's our feeling center. That's where we harbor feelings. That's our feeling of love and acceptance, of hope, of forgiveness, of where we feel sadness, where we feel grief. So it's our feeling center here. So when it is blocked, and I remember working on a client with this who came to me for relationship issues. Well, before we even knew that part of it, but I felt there was just this heaviness. There was this anger. There was this fire. There was this wall. And through our coaching, we realized that it came up that she wants to work on attracting the one and bringing in her life partner, but that was unable to happen because of the energy here. And we're all energy beings, so whatever energy we embody, whatever energy field that we are on, level that we are on, that's what we're going to attract. So if we're harboring anger, if we're harboring unforgiveness, if we're harboring sadness, and we have this wall up energetically, then it's going to be hard for the one to come in. You're going to attract more experiences and more people that are going to match that vibration, that are going to make you feel that way more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And it's going to be hard to really do anything if we're having all of these feelings blocked and locked within us. And I think what becomes really hard is that it's not just about our own internal process, our own internal thoughts, but there's so much that we're getting from other people around the world. At walking in the grocery store, just being around people, we can feel what their experiences are. And I know for myself as a clinical social worker, I know how many interviews I can do a week because I go into long-term care residences with seniors, and the level of suffering and pain in those residences with all of those people, the family and all of the clients, and the staff is not exactly thrilled either. They're taking it all in. I know that stuff is getting blocked in me, and I can feel more physical pain when I take on too many clients. And I think it's just because I'm taking on too much stuff.
Right. And there's a buildup of that energy, and it's just going to, the physical pain is just the symptom to the problem. Yeah. So the best thing that you need to do is just keep cleansing and clearing, and then protecting your energy. And then also ask yourself, how can you view this from a spiritual perspective in order to keep you aligned when you go into that place? But it's great that you're aware of, the influence of other people's energy. And that's true. When we walk through life, just absorbing unconsciously and not doing anything to clear that out, but also not being aware of what it is that we're bringing on, it ends up being our own, and we end up manifesting it in our body, as you said.
And I think, we're going a bit off track, but I think a lot of that has to do with just like our own instinct and our own gut feeling. And some of that, I believe, is the energy that I'm picking up. And I used to not listen to it. And I think particularly a lot of women tend to push that aside. And so we do all, even if you're not someone who says, oh, I believe in energy and we all have energy, even if you don't say that, if you have walked into a room and just gone, oof, or you meet someone and just like, something's off there. That is what you're feeling. And I think people, I don't know, they don't have the words to connect it, or they don't have the beliefs behind it, or people think you're wacky and kooky for believing those things. But that is what it is. And when you're talking about picking up on other people, it's energy, right?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it. Yeah, I think spirituality has gotten a bad rap, and also because it's not practical and it's not seen. But end of the day, whether you speak that language or not, whether you believe it or not, everyone gets to a point where they're sensing that energy. They walk in the room, or their way of doing things, like thinking things, doing things, and going on that route, the practical route, that doesn't solve everything either. That doesn't resolve everything. There's answers unanswered there. And so the other side of that is the energy side of you. So I think at some point, everyone has a sense and inkling about it, and some people are just more open to it than others.
Yeah. So we're going to get to what we can do once we have that awareness, but let's finish all of them. We have 3 left. I think we're here at the throat, which is probably, I think I read something about communication or something, which makes sense because it's at our throat.
Yeah. So that's exactly it. So that's our throat chakra, and that is our communication center. It's our ability to speak truthfully. It's our self-expression, even through work, how we communicate with others. So that color associated with that is like a sky blue. So when that is blocked, we will have, it goes into both ways. We can be very aggressive with our communication. We have conflict, we have confrontation a lot, or we can be very passive when we don't say what we want to say. Another thing is you may feel like you don't know what your life purpose is, what you're meant to do. That could be blocked because that's how we express ourselves. People say it's also connected to creativity. That's why a lot of people in the arts this is pretty open. When you can sing, when you're acting, when you're doing anything artistic and creative, it can come from that place as well. So yeah, that's the throat chakra.
Okay, and the next is, I think, the third eye, right? And I think that's
Yep.
the one that people have heard of the most. And I mean, it makes sense. It's like vision, seeing, insight. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly it. So yeah, it's exactly that. It's your third eye. It gives you a third perspective. It gives you, you have your two eyes, but you have this energy center here, and that's your perception center. That's your ability to connect your intuition, your inner wisdom, clairvoyancy, psychic abilities. We are all psychic to a certain degree. Some people are just really honed into it and open to it, and other people shut it off. But because you have those moments of deja vu, or you have a dream. So those moments are just signs of your third eye, that third perspective opening up, and that's there for you.
So interesting, the dream. I don't want to get off on dreams, but I dream like crazy. So that maybe we have that on a side topic another time. Okay, last one, the crown chakra.
Crown chakra is the center of top of the head, and that is your spiritual center. So your connection to higher power, source, energy, spirit, whatever your word for God or higher power is, it's your connection to the spiritual realm.
Okay, so now when things are blocked, so let's just, and they manifest physically. So for example, I have a lot of hip pain. Now I do have arthritis in my hip. Genetically, we can look at a family of hip problems, hip replacements, but could it be, the energetic coding that's been put through us all as a family? I mean, I know it could be that piece, or is it just something that I'm experiencing? But I have a lot of pain there, and I don't seem to be able to get rid of it. So if I'm going to approach this in an energy perspective and a chakra perspective and look at that root chakra, and I guess the next one, which was, sorry, the one at the bottom, the second one? Sacrum, thank you, because that would be that area with my hip. How do I unblock it? Like, I know that's where my pain is. Let's say I'm a believer in energy. What do I do to release that and get that energy flowing?
So there's two things you can do. You can self-care, do things yourself, which I'll share with you. And you can also get a professional, a coach, or someone who does Reiki work. The first thing that, as you shared that came up, is that's ancestry stuff that's passed on. And you have the power to break that lineage. Yes, there's genetics, and I do believe it has a factor, but you do have the power to break that. So the way you can do that for yourself is literally meditate on it and breathe into it. And you may not get the answer right away, because it depends how open you are and how relaxed you get, and what receiving state you're at. But really what you can start doing is just closing your eyes, breathing into it. And what most people try to do is go in and fix it or push it away or try to mask it. And what you need to do is embrace it. You need to listen to it, because it's an energy there. Give it a voice. What's the color? What do you see? What do you notice? What does it have to say to you? And literally, if you listen to it and keep asking, what do I need to know? What are you about? What is this about? What do I need to know? And keep asking open-ended questions. You'll get an answer, and you'll get this intuitive feel. You'll get a memory. You'll hear a voice. You'll hear a message. You may get a color. You may get an image, and it'll come to you. And just keep breathing to it little by little. And there may be layers to it. And chances are layers, especially if it's been generation to generation. But I've healed stuff like this within me. And it can break the pattern so that you don't pass it on to the next generation. But it's definitely like a pain in the hip, like a pain in my arse, we hear. So there's something there that you're carrying that is not yours. And you do have the ability to resolve and ease the pain of it, and possibly even release it, depending how deep you go into the work and what other work you do to support that.
It's a tall order to ask people, because you're saying embrace the discomfort, listen to it, let it happen. And obviously most of us just want to avoid. If there's something that's painful or uncomfortable, we just don't want to deal with it. I mean, that's just normal human reactions. So when someone is able to embrace and let it happen and try and listen, I think, at least I speak for myself, that I know that still part of me doesn't allow it to happen. Like if I'm meditating and I start feeling something, an openness, or I start seeing movement like behind my eyes as my eyes are closed, and I immediately pull myself out of it. It's like I get too afraid to allow myself to go there. Is it possible that even if we do the work, but we're not having the answers in that moment, that they'll come out in a time when we least expect it, like when we're dreaming or we're sitting at the computer and all of a sudden a memory comes in, and like your body is saying to you, well, you weren't able to hear it then, but now you seem in a relaxed space, so I'm going to give it to you now. Does that happen?
Oh yeah, definitely. It comes when you are in the most receiving state. So sometimes when we go in meditation, we're like, "Oh, I'm going into meditation to get an answer." So we put too much pressure, and the doors are closed for the answer. But that's why I can come to you when you're in sleeping state, because that's the state we're in most least resistance. Or it can be when you're washing dishes, or just like it just pops in your head because you're in the receiving state. There's no resistance there. So yes, it can come in other ways.
Okay, so we know about the 7 main areas. So what is your suggestion for people now that you've gone through these 7 areas? Do you suggest that people like print something out like I have here and kind of understand which area is which, connect that to whatever that life lesson, feeling, spiritual conflict, like that connection to that area, analyze their own physical pain or emotional pain, where things sit in their body, and then try and consciously take that step to unblock?
So that is a tall order. I mean, it's definitely one way you can go depending how invested you are in this. But for someone who's new to chakras, I would, yeah, definitely suggest printing out something, just getting familiar where they are, getting familiar with the colors, getting familiar with what you can do to start opening up to them. And a good way to start getting familiar with it is knowing the elements, the earth elements.
Right.
And so if I can share that quickly, because I think it's a really quick tool.
Yeah.
So for the
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the root chakra, that's associated with earth. So just walking on earth, if you can go sit under a tree, sit in your backyard at the park, and just sitting cross-legged and have the base of your spine touching the earth. You can do that as you're walking and breathing in energy through your feet. Really feel your feet connected to the ground. Be present that way. And what a lot of people do is earthing, where they put their bare feet in the ground, and it has negative ions, I believe, or just the energy that comes up from the earth into the body has a lot of healing properties.
Right.
And it's a quick way to feel grounded if you're feeling ungrounded. So the sacral chakra is about water. So going near water, drinking water, being in a bath, being in the shower, and just really connecting with water. It's very cleansing and renewing and refreshing.
Yeah.
The solar plexus is about the sun. So you can hold crystals like citrine. You can eat fruits like lemons and stuff that grow and point towards the sun, or yellow foods. And being with the sun, or just breathing in the sun, lighting candles, because it's a fire energy, right? So it's a fire energy that's connected there. And then the heart chakra is about air. So going outside, I kind of love windy days, because the air that just goes through is just really rejuvenating, refreshing for me. So that's for the heart. If you're feeling heavy in emotions, you're feeling just breathing in air, fresh air, opening the window in your house. And then the next is the throat chakra. It's the ether. So it's the sky, it's openness. So again, going outdoors, going for a walk, looking up to the sky. You can even lay on the ground if you have the opportunity, and just really just feel the space.
You're cutting off on my end. I don't know. Okay, so you were cutting off there a bit, but I'm hoping that it still caught it on the recording for when I replay. Keep going, Minerva. Are you there? Are you there?
There.
I can hear you now, so keep going.
Okay, so then the third eye, the element associated with that is light. So what you literally do is close your eyes and just breathe in and see, feel, imagine a indigo blue light, and just breathe that in. That will help cleanse and open up the third eye. And then finally, the top of the head is the element with it is a time and space. So you can do that through meditation, you can do that through sound, whatever just makes you feel that expanded feeling. And for me, it takes a visual of me when I connect to what I call source energy. I get this expanded universal galaxy feeling, and I just feel really time and space. So it's just connecting to that. So there's different ways you can do that, and easy, practical ways you can introduce that. In order to self-diagnose, if you're open to your intuition and getting answers, you can definitely do that and just trust what comes up. But sometimes people don't trust or they don't know what they're doing. So I would recommend going to professional spiritual healers, Reiki practitioners, chakra aura healers that can help you.
Okay, great. And I just want to say hi because Tamra has been writing, and first of all, she said good afternoon. She said she's going to light some candles, yellow ones. In fact, it's a rainy morning here in Southwest Michigan. So light the candle, and thank you for watching. Okay, so Minerva, I know I'm going to stop us now just to make sure we don't go over 20 minutes. I know that we can get a hold of you on Instagram, Facebook, Goddess of Wisdom, and you do remote coaching as well. You can do all of this spiritual coaching just through, I guess, Skype or Facebook?
Yes, so I do video sessions and I do in person as well. But if from distance, I do spiritual coaching and energy work from a distance or in person. So you can get all the information on what I can offer at goddessofwisdom.ca.
Perfect. And of course, you can DM me if you didn't get that down. DM me and I'll send you Minerva's information. Thanks so much, Minerva. I'm going to concentrate on what's too cold. I'm not sitting outside on the ground. I'm sorry. I'm a baby. I'm from California. It's too cold already. I'm sitting on the floor in my house, on the wood floor. It's kind of like, it's like, I'll pretend it's a tree. I'm going to start working on that root chakra and try and see what information comes up. And if not, I'm calling you.
Please. Yeah. And just when you sit on the ground, you just literally just see roots going down and connecting to Mother Earth. It can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be outside.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Minerva. I appreciate the Chakras 101 dummies for chakras. And I do actually understand now. And one day, well, we will have to have a side conversation about the 144, which to me is like insane. Is that how, I'm sorry, I'm going off now. Is that how acupuncture works? Is all those 144 centers? I'm just curious. Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know too much about that, but there's a lot that are null and they're called Nandis. So they're meridians and energy, they're channels where energy flows. So yeah, it's connected to acupuncture.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I want to learn about acupuncture too. Well, anyways, thanks, Minerva, so much. And we'll be in touch. I'm going to FaceTime you right now because we still have to do an accountability check for our book. Okay. Gaia. Oh, Tamara wants to know about Gaia. Have you seen that online?
Yeah. So Gaia, she talking about Gaia, like it's like Netflix for spirituality.
Yeah. Can you answer that for her before we sign off?
Sure, no problem. I'm not sure what the exact question is, but Gaia,
that's it.
So I'm assuming you mean the program, GAIA. It's a program it's like Netflix for spiritual people, and there's a lot of amazing information on there. I have a membership to it, so it's definitely great and a good resource to have.
Okay, so there you go. There's your question. It's a good resource. Okay, thanks a lot, Minerva. I'm going to call you right now.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Bye.